Hi everyone. Hope all of you doing great. So before we start, I need from all of you to tell me in the chat if you can hear my voice clear and you can also see my screen. Okay. Hi Mahmoud. Perfect, perfect. So first, I would like to thank you for attending another episode from our live uh, webinar, MITRE attack. And today we are going to cover persistence using a Windows service. So let me first share with you this disclaimer. As we mentioned before, we here at InfoSec 40C we provide a cybersecurity training, but we are not promote any hacking or cracking or software piracy activity. And in all the demos that we present in our webinar, it's for educational only. So please um, use the tools and the knowledge that you will gain during the lecture, um, the knowledge and the tools that you will find during the lecture in ethical way. Okay, and please do not attempt to violate the law with anything contained here. So let's start with defining a Windows service. So let me ask you a question here. So what do you know about Windows services? Who want to share? Okay, so let me share. So Windows service refer to a program or process that run in the background independently of a GUI, and it provides specific functionality to the operating system. And these services are fundamental part of Windows operating system here, which perform, numerous or various tasks necessary for the proper function and maintenance of the system. And there is some characteristic that we need to cover in today's lecture in order to understand Windows service better. So Windows servers run as a background process, often without a user, interaction, and they can start automatically when the operating system boot, and they continue running as long as needed, even if no user is logged in. Okay. Also, servers are responsible for a wide range of system-level function, like managing hardware devices, network connection, security, remote access, and they are crucial for operation of the Windows operating system. Also, servers are designed to be stable and reliable. They typically handle error gracefully and can automatically restart if they encounter issue, ensuring continuous operation of essential system component. All service can run with different level of privilege depending on the specific task, and some service require a high privilege to perform a critical system function. Also, Windows servers are configured and managed through the Windows Service Control Manager. And also, administrator can modify their settings, start or stop them, and specify when they should run. We have a numerous number of services. As you know, we have print spooler, for example. We have Windows Firewall Service. We have log or event management, for example. So we have a variety of them. User also can, you know, um, create a custom service to perform specific task or run a third-party software in a background. And some of these services depend on other service to function correctly. Okay, so yeah, you need to become familiar with this characteristic here in term of Windows service. Okay, so let's go with persistence in cybersecurity. Why persistence is matter? As we know, persistence refers to the ability of an attacker to maintain access or control over a compromised system for extended period of time. So you as an attacker, when you gain an access or initial access to a system, you need to establish resistance here to ensure that you can return and continue your malicious activity even after the system reboot or update, for example, or even the user uh, logged out. Okay, so resistance, as I mentioned, is very essential task that you need to perform in order to control the victim machine. So why attacker target a Windows service for persistence? Let me ask you this question first. So why is the attacker, from your perspective, using a Windows service here for persistency? Okay, let me tell you why. So first, legitimacy. We know servers are legitimate and expected component of a Windows operating system, and here's attacker really use it to blend, and avoid detection. For example, we have also privilege levels, and some of servers run with elevated privilege, allowing the attacker to execute their code with the authority to make a system level changes. For example, also it came with auto start. So many servers are configured to start automatically when the system boot, for example, and also stability. And these servers, as I mentioned before, designed to be reliable and stable, making them ideal for maintaining long-term access. So that's why the attacker really love to rely on Windows servers when he want to achieve persistency, as I mentioned. So we have tons of technique to establish residency. For example, we can create a new service. So we as an attacker, we can create entirely new service, and we can give it a deceptive name, for example, to execute a malicious code and make the service start automatically. For example, we can modify an existing service. So we here alter the configuration of existing legitimate service to execute our malicious code. And also we can do some registry modification, and we did cover this part before, doing some registry modification. And as we know, the Windows registry stores service configuration setting, and here we, as an attacker, we can make registry change and manipulate the service behavior and enable their persistence mechanism, for example. Also, we have service execution. So we can execute our code with the context of legitimate service process, and also we can exploit the ability of this service. Okay, and we can also uh, use some accessibility feature abuse. And really, I love this technique here. So accessibility feature abuse here, in Windows there is some accessible feature like a sticky key, for example, or alternman.exe. I believe Mr. Ahmed Thabit, during one of his investigation, um, he found one of ABT groups really utilize these techniques, and he able to you know uh, write a very interesting report that I believe he's gonna share in the next week. For example, we have image file execution option, or IFEO, and this is a registry key that can be modified to inject a malicious DLL into legitimate process. So if you don't know information about DLL hijacking, for example, DLL, when the application or when the exe execute, for example, it needs some dependency, some library or some function, and he can inherit these function from a DLL file, for example. And there is a DLL order that the operating system must follow in order to, find the right DLL and execute it. So first, the application or the exe start looking into the same directory of the application. And if there is no DLL in this directory, the application or the exe file start looking into another, directory like system, Windows System 32, then moving to Windows and so on. So in this process here, the attacker try to, create a malicious DLL and leave this DLL into the same directory of the malicious exe that he created before, for example. So this is some techniques that really we can utilize. I'm also encourage all of you to go and open MITRE attack framework website. It's really interesting website as we covered during these live webinars. So go and take a look, read the other ABT groups, tactics, techniques, and procedure, and trust me, you will find always something interesting. And please, if you have any question, yeah, you can put your question in the chat and I will answer it. Okay, everyone, I hope today's session was informative and see you next week.